year is 2021, and Libsyn launches the latest podcast on the Borgcast Galactica feed. In a freak mishap, Borgcast Galactica and its hosts, Peter and Anne-Marie, are blown out of their trajectory to re-emerge as Borg Rogers in the 25th century.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
Happy 2022.
Where did the time go?
Dunno. Anyway, it's 1.18.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hooray, I think.
Well.
I mean, I found this loads of fun, but it's very silly, as you can tell by the title, Space Rockers.
Rock on!
Oh yeah. Written by Chris Bunch and Alan Cole, which is their second episode after Ardala returns, and the last one. And BJ Count 1.
Hey there, where you going? Not exactly knowing. Who says you have to call just one place? Oh, he's going everywhere. DJ McKay and his best friend there.
Oh.
Yep. Directed by Guy Magar, which is his only bookisode. It was also his first TV job.
Oh. Did he get any others?
Well, he did actually, yes. And not just his first directorial job in TV, but his first job in TV, period.
How did he just walk in and get a directing job?
I'm glad you asked me that. He'd done a student film, okay, and the producer of Borg Rogers at this point, Bruce Lansbury, who had just been given the sack. And so, as revenge, hired this nobody to direct this episode, thinking, ha ha ha, he's going to mess it up. But as it turns out, it's not that badly directed.
No.
I mean, we've seen far worse in this series. Let's
Yes.
face it, from, seasoned professionals. So, yeah, and he went on to direct a couple of episodes of Sliders and the A-Team. So, well done, Guy.
Yeah.
Well, Andromeda is quite a phenomenon, Buck, and possibly a disturbing problem as well.
Problem why?
Captain Rogers, data has shown that within minutes of an Andromeda concert broadcast from Music World, there is a 55% surge in youth crimes.
Frankly, we're puzzled and more than a little concerned. But I understand there were similar problems in your time.
Oh, not really. Usually music gave kids something to believe in, to identify with. It was a powerful force, but a good one. What is Music World?
It's an abandoned military orbital fortress. It's been taken over and renovated by a conglomerate of music promoters.
And totally outside of directorate jurisdiction, I regret to say.
It lays out its musical stall from the beginning.
Oh, I love it, though.
Music World!
Oh, where in the world? Music World.
And it looks rubbish.
Oh, it does. It's a blatant kiss bash.
A jumble of coat hangers and deodorant.
Yeah, washing up liquid bottles probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, yeah.
And then there's Andromeda themselves.
Oh, yeah. Well, you start with...
Oh!
They do. They just look like fucking space
Teletubbies.
Teletubbies.
Wow, they predicted the Teletubbies in advance. I mean, yeah, that's a sure sign of genius if you're ahead of the curve like that.
Oh.
It's certainly a look, isn't it?
Yeah.
That keyboard.
Well, it's not really a keyboard, is it? It looks more like the fucking tubby tustard machine.
And, well, maybe it is. And then there's the dude playing the strange glass rods.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
I mean, at least the guitar looks like a guitar, but she's the one who looks the most Teletubby-like of them all.
She does. She's got the ears.
Well, also she's got the which one is it that has the? Is it La?
Oh, don't ask me. It's been a while. Thankfully. Yes, Karana Sirasan Rambo! Don't push me! A.K.A. Glitterbeard.
Oh.
He's played by Jesse D. Goines. And he will crop up in quite a major sci-fi movie.
Oh, yeah.
RoboCop.
Will he?
Yeah, he's the baddie with the high-pitched laugh who gets caught having a pee.
Oh, it's been too long since I've seen it. I don't remember that.
He's also in War Games, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the A-Team.
So, yeah, you've got a bloke in the control room, and he turns out to be our man, who I couldn't... Well, I wrote him down because I couldn't quite catch his name as Tarquin. That's not his actual name.
Tarkus or something like that, yes.
Yeah,
But
Tarka
Tarquin,
the Ossa,
Yin Bing,
Tarquin.
Slim Bing,
Yeah.
Fatang, where's my biscuit barrel? Yeah.
And he's sort of in the control booth pressing buttons while they're playing, in inverted commas, dancing.
Oh, it's Tarkus. I've got it written down.
Oh, okay.
Who's played by Paul Leclerc. And Monsieur Leclerc. Oh, no, it's hello. Who had various roles in the original Battlestar Galactica. Small roles in Independence Day, The Blues Brothers, and Columbo, amongst other things.
Okay.
It's a very small role in this. I don't think he speaks, does he? He just gets
Possibly he does, but not much. He's very early
at all.
on.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He gets kicked out an airlock, basically.
Yeah.
That's his role in this.
By the guy I recognise. Now, who's he?
Okay, so the heavy is Yarat, who's played by Richard Mole, who is Max in Babylon 5's Hunter Prey, the dude who kidnapped the president's doctor.
Yeah.
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 He's also in providing the voice for an animation called The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald, The Visitors from Outer Space. I wouldn't have referenced this, but he's playing the part of Org's dad. Hang on! Now I almost want to watch this, Farrago. I mean, it can't be any worse than, what's that big Mac and Me? Oh, boy. He also provided the voice of Two-Face in the Batman cartoons, or Toothpaste, as our kids used to call him. And he's in the A-Team, and
BJ and the Bear.
BJ Count 2! Oh, yeah!
He just keeps on moving, ladies keep improving. Every day is better than the last.
New dreams and better scenes. And best of all, I don't pay property tax.
And then you've got Greasy Twat.
Dodgy agent guy.
Mangroves.
Large mangoes.
Yeah.
Played by Jerry Orbach. Now, he was a big star on Broadway at the time of this.
Oh.
And he was so shocked at the cheap state of TV that he went back to the stage after this.
Yeah.
Although he did return to TV to star in Law and Order. Not that I've ever seen that.
No.
He also provided the voice of Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's nicely cheesy in this.
He is.
He commits to it.
Yeah,
He's
he
due.
does. He does. Although in a minute I'll come on to it, but his plan's fucking bonkers.
But of course, I mean, pretty much every Buck Rogers baddie has got.
But at least
nut plans.
Ardala's mostly I want Buck.
Yes, hers make the most sense. Well,
yeah.
in as much
It
as
is any of them
anything makes
yeah.
sense about liking Buck. But anyway,
But I want to know who are the other two people in the group. Who's the woman? Who's the Teletubby?
that's Karana. She wasn't in anything in particular that I found.
Okay, and the other dude.
Cirrus, he was in Quantum Leap, which we
Okay.
did watch, so maybe we might be recognising Leonard Lightfoot. And Karana's played by Nancy Fragioni, apparently. Yes.
Okay. So then they're broadcasting from Music World, and Colin's watching, and he's saying, that they're really important. And Buck's like, they sound a bit like a Beatles. And Wilma goes, who? And he goes, no, not the Who, the Beatles.
Yeah, that's not a bad pun, actually.
And apparently there has been a 55% surge in youth crimes after the music has been playing.
Yeah, and for one terrible moment, I thought they were going with, rock music causes youth crime. Bad. Come on, kids, don't listen to that rock music. But actually, to be fair, Buck actually says, oh, no, it's nothing to do with that. And actually, these rock stars give the kids somebody to identify with. It's like, phew, for a change, he's not playing Dad.
But some of them have got these sort of black SS type,
they've
futuristic SS.
got Nazi groupies.
Yeah.
And they don't understand why they've got
No.
Nazi groupies. I mean, the only reason they got Nazi groupies is they're being paid, presumably, by Mr. Mangoes. But, yeah.
The thing is, as well, all the youth in this, they're not that young, are they, really?
No, the two that run off are some of the oldest youngsters I've ever seen. And
Yeah.
they nick Buck's ship, yeah. I mean, he just looks like he's come straight from a job in an accountant's firm, doesn't he?
Yeah. So they've got an agent on Music World. That's Tarquin.
Yeah, well, he had one.
Because Music World is, out of the jurisdiction of Earth Defence Directorate. And you watch them all dancing with refuelling cables. That's safe.
Yeah, those are the same cables they used to refuel their ships. So, shocking.
And then suddenly, because Mangoes and not Yasser Arafat, what did you call him?
Yarat. But, you put those two together and
Yeah, turn the funny gadget.
I love the
movie.
fact that, Mango says, now you need to help me with this. And helping with just involves putting this
Putting it
little knob in and turning it. And then from then on inwards, it only takes one of them to do it. So
weird.
Yeah.
And then all the youth, in inverted commas, stop and look slightly odd. And then riot. Well, you say riot, all they do is push over some glass and some shells and say ha ha ha, and then two of them nick Buck's Starfighter.
Yeah, it's not the most heinous riot you've ever seen, ever, is it?
Not really.
It's less of a rumble and more of a crumble. I don't know.
Yeah.
A bumble.
But then, because they don't even leave the room, do they? I mean, if they're supposed to be looting and pillaging and crime, all they've really done is trash their own space up.
Yeah, and quite why in the youth centre. Oh. Yeah, no, they've got all these display.
It's not a youth centre.
Well, that's what they call it.
No. But it's not because
there's no ping pong table.
No, there's no pool table. Right? There's nobody there dressed appallingly as an adult trying to look cool with terrible glasses serving weak sauce orange squash. And there's not manky carpet you can stick to.
Yeah.
How can that possibly be a youth centre?
Yeah, it doesn't work. But what there is loads of display cabinets with glass.
Because that's necessary, obviously.
Because that's what you need in a youth club.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
They're getting youth clubs wrong, aren't they?
They are a bit.
I mean, really, they should be stamping on the ping pong balls. That's what you did when you rioted at a youth club.
Right.
Did you never do that? It's quite satisfying. Pop!
No.
Stuff your ping pong and stuff your youth club. Oh, I'm a rebel.
Right. No, I didn't do that. I just stopped going because it was shit.
Banned from Cherry Orchard Youth Club for rioting over a ping pong table.
Wow. No.
He hit me with a ping pong bat.
Makes me think that
When you do that, you leave that or ping pong pattern on somebody's face. You can never go back.
Makes me glad that there wasn't anything like that at my youth club because we played darts.
Oh my crud! Right, no, they wouldn't have trusted us with that. Blimey neck.
I mean, I did put them in the wall and the ceiling because
People's heads.
No, I didn't put one in anybody's head. I mean, if I had done, it would have been by accident anyway. I probably would have been aiming for the bullseye. Anyway, you've got these two young people in inverted commas, an accountant and a receptionist who've stolen Buck's Starfighter. And initially they're in there, still grooving, and then suddenly...
Yeah, is the idea that he's playing the music with his red thing?
I think so.
Because, I mean, he's just sort of jigging it around. I presume that's his music player. I mean, and to be honest, he's not the lamest music player we've seen in any sci-fi series, to be honest. I mean, I think of the ones in Blake 7.
Yeah, and he hasn't got shitty headphones or anything.
No, so, he's doing what the youth today do, which is, forget headphones, just play it on the top deck of a bus, don't you?
Oh, yeah, while somebody else is playing their thing and you can't hear it. You have to turn your own headphones up to bloody kill somebody in order to hear something.
Yeah.
Although for me, the absolute worst was the time I was on the bus and on the top deck was a middle-aged woman blasting out an episode of Coronation Street on her phone. That was just, yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, I mean, everyone looked at her and she just didn't give a fuck.
Was she in her pyjamas?
I don't know. She was wearing a coat, probably. Anyway, they're sort of like... So there they are. And like I said, they're a receptionist and an accountant. And after they suddenly come to, and they're all like, oh, what the fuck are we doing here? But Buck pilots them in by remote. They're like, oh, no, don't, put us in prison. And Buck's like, no, I'm going to do something worse than that. You're going home to your parents. And it's just like...
With no tea.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I'm not being funny, but they're not 10.
Yeah. No, it just it comes across so weirdly.
Just, what the actual fuck?
You youth today. How old are you? 36. All right, okay.
Yes, yeah. Meanwhile, Tarquin has been spaced. And then you get, that's why the transmission cut off. It's like, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, Buck worked that one out. Wow.
So then they have to get a new agent on the inside. And Buck's like, I could go. I'm from the century where rock and roll was invented and I'm introducing Andromeda to everyone galaxy-wide. And everybody's like super impressed with this absolutely shit idea.
Yet again, he proves his worth.
Oh, my God.
And yet again, Blooming, Hewer and Wilma get left behind. Boo!
Wilma should be kicking arse, surely.
She gets nothing to do in this story, sadly.
No.
It's very frustrating.
Anyway, Mangross is all like, his plan is all that, there's going to be this galaxy-wide concert and all the young people all over the world will riot to go out into the streets and then therefore all the world leaders will come to him for leadership and then he'll take over the galaxy. Like, really?
Yeah, I know. It's just like...
What the actual fuck?
I'm sure that plan's missing a few steps somewhere along the line.
There've been better plans on Pinky and the fucking Brain. Baldrick's had better fucking plans than that.
Take over the world, because, nobody can stand youth clubs being trashed.
By 36-year-olds.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck?
Producers of ping pong balls around the universe will be up in arms.
Oh dear. No, we went round slapping each other's ears saying, well, you know when you've been tangoed.
Ah, excellent.
Anyway, so then Mangroves is a bit suspicious of Buck. So
Perhaps it's the fact he's called Captain Rogers. Everybody refers to him as Captain Rogers, and it's just like, and you wonder why people think he might work for the Directorate. I mean, I know it's a sort of reference to the fact that he was the captain of a space shuttle back in the day, but even so, by keeping the rank, it does make him sound a lot more military than perhaps he's supposed to be as this hip 20th century guy.
Anyway, because, you know, Buck's own plan is blatantly shit, they see through it.
Mm-hmm.
So this gang comes along, they're going to beat him up with truncheons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he defeats them really easily with Tweaky's help, who kicks one of them in the shins.
Yeah, I did like Tweaky getting in on the action, actually. That was at least something.
But they are so shit. They are the shittest gang there ever shitting was. And then you get to meet Joanna.
Yes.
Who's wearing a plastic skirt, because of course.
And with a sort of plastic choker thing on as well.
God.
It's quite the costume,
And she's
isn't it?
like, oh, I must be weak and ineffectual and speak like this. And I just want to slap her in the face with
Well,
the wet
about the
dish.
costume, Child 2 said, if this is the future, I want nothing to do with it. Which might run for the entire series. Actually,
Yeah.
Anyway, she's played by Judy Landers, who was in The A-Team, again, Knight Rider, and
BJ and the Bear.
BJ Count 3! It's another top scorer this episode. Hooray!
Rolling down to Dallas, my wheels provide my palace. Off to New Orleans or who knows where. Places new and ladies too. I'm BJ McKay and this is my best friend Bear.
This episode blows him all way than one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what's her face? I know the actor is Nancy, but what's the character's name again?
Tinky Winky.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway.
Karana.
That's it.
Yeah.
She's taking Buck around, and
Buckaroo.
some girls appear all screaming, asking for her autograph. So she just gets this
Little stamper thing.
little stamper thing out, and then she's like, "Oh, I need a hand transplant." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Tough gig.
And then she talks about how all the band members were given this pendant by Mangroves, and they have to wear it all the time, and then nothing will go wrong for the band. And, you know, they've been wearing it all the time when they play and nothing has, so, you know. And he must be awesome. It's like, no, he must not, really. So then you've got Buck, and you presume he's using a safe channel, the way Tarquin supposedly did.
Yeah.
But it does look a bit like he's just going, like, publicly over any old airwaves, hello, to Colin, and giving him an update. What gets me is he sort of says, oh, this is what we've picked up so far. There must be some kind of link, which, I mean, they know from the transmission as well. And then it's like, you know, oh, this guy was researching, what was it, particle movement theory or some other such?
Yeah, before he became an agent, because that's not at all sauce, is it? You know,
what the
it's
fuck?
a natural one, you know, particle physicist to agent to the stars.
Yeah. And Vec must mean vector and all the rest of it. And then Buck cuts off the transmission and then says to Dr. Hewer, oh, can you look into such and such? I'm thinking, well, if it's only going to take him a few minutes, stay on the line in case the information that Dr. Theophilus has is of use to Dr. Hewer, don't you? So why does he stop and then... Oh, it makes no sense to me. Does it make sense to you?
No.
Okay.
But then searches the recording studio and finds a chip. Chip. But then he's spotted by Yarrett, who reports to Lars. He then emotionally manipulates Joanna into entertaining Buck, which is all a bit icky.
Just a tad.
It looks like Buck is doing a COVID test, but he's actually scanning the chip he's found, finding those brainwaves and the word Vec. Hewer calls and says they're planning to block Andromeda's broadcasts on Earth, but Buck says that will lead to riots.
I put it to riots. I put it to riots. I put it to riots. I put it to riots.
Joanna goes to see Buck, and Lars plays Andromeda into the room and turns his dial of mayhem up. And of course, Buck easily overcomes her when she gets murderous. He sends her to a shuttle so she can escape, and she doesn't appear for the rest of the story, so she was worth having, wasn't she? Yeah. Theo has figured out how Lars is using Andromeda's music to transmit ionized particles. Ionized particles by music? Is that a thing? Doesn't sound right to me, but anyway.
A deionizer was a thing my sister plugged
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with sound, was it? That was to do with
dust.
The atmosphere and stuff, isn't it? Yeah. Buck goes to the band and demonstrates they're not affected to the music because of their crappy medallions. Stupidly, they decide they still owe Lars enough to speak to him about it, despite him clearly using their music to make kids violent. So, I mean, that was going to work out, wasn't it? Lars denies nothing, because he's a Tory, and tells them he'll just use a vid recording. Buck decides to disable Lars' transmitter, but the only way to the studio is through some ducts. Some absolutely massive ducts that mysteriously only Tweaky will fit.
Oh, they are so fucking huge, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Where we see inside later, it's clear Buck could easily have fitted.
Yeah.
And later on the band, and he uses them.
Yeah.
Although Tweaky says, these are much bigger. And it's like,
no,
yeah,
the same fucking size.
And you could have fitted in. Anyway. Lars and goons turn up, and when Yarrett logically suggests they just kill Buck now, Lars says he wants to arrange a spectacular martyr's death for him and Andromeda after the concert. What? A martyr's death? I don't think that word means what you think it means.
No.
Hey-ho.
He's about as effective as Texas Pete from Super Ted.
You have said that about other Buck Rogers villains. And
sorry.
Yes. Well, it's true about them as well, yes. It was a thing, and you couldn't have really scary villains in kiddies' programmes, so, Hewer calls Lars, who claims he doesn't know where Rogers is. The Doctor threatens to use a jammer satellite, which turns out to be the cryo ship from Escape from Weddy Bliss, for cheapness' sake. But Lars blows it up. Ha ha, what a villain, eh? Tweaky's almost blown into space. No, not Tweaky, and it clearly cuts to an advert. It's like, all the kids were going, oh, Tweaky. Yeah, well, he's too late to get to the transmitter before Yarrett moves it. The concert starts, and the band use their keyboard to create a frequency that makes the door lock explode so they can escape. In a really crappy-looking effect.
Wow.
Buck destroys the transmitter just as Lars attempts to get the youth of the galaxy to rise up. He just gets laughed at, and Andromeda restarts the concert, which we see rather too much of, it has to be said. Although, there's a nice moment where Hewer does a little bop.
I like that.
And it all ends with a long live rock and roll, Tweaky says, and gets a cheesy thumbs up from Buck. Yeah, but on the upside, they didn't go down the rock music is bad for kids route, which I did fear they might have done at one point. And it is very amusingly cheesy. This is kind of what you want from Buck Rogers.
Yeah, it is. Particularly Teletubbies in people dancing with fuel line cables and that music. I like that music.
On the downside, it's a bit padded.
More than a bit, to be fair.
Gil Gerard seems to be bored through most of this. I think he's kind of lost interest in the series at this point. Probably wants his holiday.
Yeah.
And the show is suffering from underusing Wilma. I mean, she always brightens any episode where she's actually got something to do.
Yeah, and she's just a bit part in this, isn't she?
Yeah. What do you think, Fizz? We just get a sigh from the dog. Okay.
On the other hand, my fish enjoyed a disco.
Yeah, you figured out how to turn your fish tank to disco lights, which I don't think they actually did enjoy,
Well, some of them did and some of them didn't, but while the Andromeda was playing, I gave my fish a disco. A fishco.
A fishco? No, I don't think anybody's calling it that.
I am.
No, just no.
What did other people think of this? Did they like the musics? And Jeff writes, now this is more like it. An incredibly stupid plot to use popular music to drive the not-so-youthful-looking teens of the galaxy to madness.
Yeah.
There are goofy costumes galore and a welcome return of the light ropes used as a dance accessory. The members of Andromeda look they would fit right in with Dr. Funkenstein aboard the mothership. The beard glitter is an especially good look that I might try out.
Wow, that was impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah. Poor Jerry Orbach just doesn't have his heart in being a megalomaniacal supervillain. He was much better suited to his long-running role as a snark detective on Law and Order.
Yeah, you could see him being, enjoying being snarky a lot more than this. Yeah.
Richard Mole was much better as his sinister henchman, but I can only ever see him as the big, goofy bailiff from Night Court. The biggest drawback of this episode was the lack of Wilma Deering, but I suppose she would have made short work of those underwhelming antagonists.
Yes.
On the plus side, Twiki got to play a bigger role in the action. The whole concept of Music World was pretty amusing too. Of course, an abandoned military space station would be the perfect place for artists and producers to form a music collective. The model was pretty cool, though. I'm looking forward to hearing this episode, and I hope everyone found as much amusement in it as I did.
It was fun.
It was, yes.
And it has to be said, the image of the space rockers is one that quite common people will, when they quote Buck Rogers, will show a picture of it because, it sums up the series. We have also heard from Doreen.
Okay, I have watched Space Rockers twice now, and I'm still at a loss of what to say. I'm slightly worried about my mental state or how immune I am to the sheer cheesiness of Buck Rogers now, because I didn't find it too bad. Anthony, my husband, when I asked him to put it on, he remembered a little bit from it, the silly, very cheesy light rope dancing at the end, or near the end. So, because I didn't find it quite as bad as his reaction, I just can't quite think what to say. I thought a lot of the outfits were quite good, and at least matched each other, compared to some of the Buck Rogers outfits or space outfits. But the bimbo's receptionist partner of Lars, her green outfit with the mad transparent bits was really bad. And these men who say, prove that you love me by going and sleeping with this other man because I need you to, do they actually think through what they're saying? Because they're the very men that are going to get jealous as soon as the person's done it. Anyway, that's far too much thinking for a Buck Rogers episode. Thanks for covering it and giving us far more entertaining podcasts than Buck Rogers. Thank you.
Yeah, I can understand you worrying about your mental state if you've become immune to the cheese.
Yeah, if you were disturbed by any of the scenes in Space Rockers, phone this free helpline now. Alternative, if you've been numbed to the cheese. There's no help, I'm sorry. We have broken your mind.
Sorry, Doreen.
Just like, I'm not sure what to say, and I've seen it twice. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I think that when we got you that second half of the season, Doreen, I think that this episode made it worthwhile. So, yeah.
Yeah. Who else have we heard from?
Sampo and Yona.
Hello.
Hello.
We just watched Space Rockers.
Yeah, and what happens in it?
It was fantastic. I mean, okay, Buck Rogers been on a very long downward slope, but I don't remember when I last enjoyed an episode as much as this. I mean, straight from the start, this crazy funk music and some Teletubbies on acid, and well, so-called youth, they were all like 30, dancing with plastic tubes and
the ropes again.
Yeah, and the bad guy who speaks like he should laugh maniacally after everything he says. No, I mean like, we'll send Buck Rogers back to Earth on a hospital shuttle. Yeah.
But the villains had this button that detonator.
So,
it's like,
so Dr. Here, you have a satellite, well, I have a detonate button. I mean, that alone made him one of the most competent bad guys in the entire series so far.
Yeah, he did quite a lot of things for himself.
I mean, at the scene at the end with everyone just laughing at him. I mean, it was.
Fun.
I mean, it went on for so long that we started laughing as well. And then we sort of died down, and it was still going on. And we started laughing again.
We were part of that galaxy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so hard to get even one Earth listening to one band.
Yeah.
How did he manage to get one galaxy to listen one band? Or did they have any other bands?
Guess not. I mean, but did you hear the music?
Andromeda. Andromeda. Not at all like Beatles.
Yeah, or the Who. It's got nothing to do with rock and roll, but yeah.
But the glass instrument was quite neat.
Yeah.
I actually liked it. I think I'd like to learn how to play it.
I like the piano thingy that could destroy doors.
It's a multitasking.
Okay. Buck was maybe a bit stupider in this than usual. I mean,
Yeah, I was thinking, did they want the audience to figure it out before Buck?
they were like, he's talking about some sort of attaching one thing to another, and concerts are causing riots. What could be the connection? Okay. Wilma was really a non-entity in this episode. I mean, in the beginning, when they stole Buck's fighter, she was like, okay, I'll send something, and then Buck was like, no, don't do that, I'll go.
Just wait here.
Yeah, and then she did. She just waited in the room because she was still there when they got back there.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was obeyed.
Only thing that was missing that she said that, okay, you're the boss, which he clearly was.
And the first thing that a little bit annoyed me in this episode, I saw them throw trash to space, and I think they should do some recycling.
No, I mean, no matter that they're throwing bodies out the air, like, but all the paper and things. Okay, but these are all nitpicks. I mean, I can't remember when I last enjoyed a Borg Rogers episode this much. This was just almost felt like watching for the first time and going like, what's going on here?
Why would galaxy leaders lose their chairs if teenager breaks a glass?
Well, they did say all people under 30. So.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean...
They have this president, which is child.
Right, of course. He's rioting in the...
Ahead of everything. But if this plan would have worked, he would never have gotten the galaxy for himself because they have this child, and he's like, no one comes into my way, and then things would go sideways, and he would lose eventually again.
Yes. Yeah, I don't really know what... I mean, his plan was to have everyone follow him. I don't... Okay, let's not think about too much. Good episode.
Yeah, but...
I mean, let's not talk ourselves out of liking it.
No, it's
okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Very good, very good.
Yes. Okay, let's end it there. Yes. Bye.
Oh, and Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Forgot to say that last time.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
And a happy 2022.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Yeah, don't concentrate too much on the recycling. Don't talk yourself out of liking this episode.
And his Bobbins plan of Bobbinsness. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, this is maximum cheese, Buck Rogers. That's what we like.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this is drunk cheese. This is
Yeah.
whiskey infused cheese,
Yes.
isn't it? Really.
And I think Sampo would make a very good baddie in a Buck Rogers reboot. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, with that maniacal laugh, definitely.
But the keyboard didn't destroy doors. It was far more specific than that. Just the locks of the door. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that in a music lesson when you were... Did you... perhaps they weren't doing it by the time, but when I was at school, electronic keyboards were suddenly affordable, and therefore you all got electronic keyboard to play in music lessons, even though you had no skills whatsoever.
Yep.
And you just pressed the demo button and pretend like you were playing.
No, we weren't allowed to do that. We had to learn how to play Lord Jesus Christ. And I can still play that with one hand on the piano. And Good King Wenceslas, I can play that as well.
I'm so glad I didn't go to a church school. But yeah, had we known that, just getting the right frequency, we could have smashed the door open.
Yeah.
That would have been what we were doing in music lessons, yeah.
Yeah. And nicking the teacher's cars.
Not playing Batman. Look at me, I'm playing Batman. Yeah, that was me.
We did chopsticks.
Yeah, I wasn't. That was a skill level above mine. I wasn't capable of that. So.
Oh, okay. And there was something else I used to play, and I can't remember what it was now.
3 days later.
Greensleeves.
Right, there we go.
Thrilling.
That was worth it.
Sorry.
Okay.
Again, I went to a church school. We learnt the shit stuff. What did Drew and Tracy make of this? Are they now immune to the cheese like Doreen?
So that was Buck Rogers' Space Rockers.
Yes, it was.
And what do we think of that one then?
It was... I enjoyed watching it. I'd say that much.
We did laugh quite a lot at this one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So, mostly every time they said Lars Mangoes.
No, Lars mangoes. Yeah, but I
Yes.
kept hearing in the end large mangoes. So
It's such a brilliant name,
we
isn't
need
it?
to refer
It's
to him.
such an excellent name, yeah.
We need to refer to him from henceforward as large mangoes.
Yep.
Anywho, so we had Daft Punk in the 25th century.
Yeah, when the episode started and the music was on, I was like, this music's great. It's like they've almost got it right. It sounded a bit like Purple Disco Machine.
No.
It sounds almost like a 2021 artist, Okay. But then when it went to the band, I was like, God, they look like a bunch of knob-ends.
They really did look a bit wrong.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Especially when they went into the dressing room and he
Took all
referred
that
to the
gear
guy
off.
as Rambo, and then he had more glitter than I've ever seen in my days. That just seemed all kinds of wrong.
Yeah, they've equally got the music right, but the look wrong.
Yeah. So what the hell is going on with bloody Wilma and Hewer? They don't do anything anymore. They never leave his office.
I know, this is a terrible thing. We didn't like it when Buck says, I'm going to go off, and Wilma's like, oh yeah, well I'll stay here. It's like, we want to see you guys doing
she's
stuff.
like a colonel or something, isn't she?
Yeah.
So Joanna.
Yep.
What the hell was that all about, for crying out loud? If you love me, prove it by going and sleeping with somebody else.
I know.
What the fuck is that about?
Yeah.
But we have to just say, when she took Buck to see the band,
Yep.
and she took him into the room, and they were clearly playing quite loudly, and she pointed to say, they're there. I was like,
oh yeah,
we
the rehearsal.
fucking know
yeah,
they're
yeah.
there. You can see them. What
Yeah.
is it? You don't need to do that. That did really
No.
make me laugh, actually.
Yep. There's a lot. It's almost getting techno babble in this, wasn't it? Was he saying about the particle movement theory and the vectors and all that? Like, it was almost getting like TNG techno babble, wasn't it?
I'll take your word for that one, lovely. We have to mention the snake dancing. They look like they were dancing with snakes.
Oh, yeah, I guess
What
so. Yeah,
is it with this flipping program and like weirdo dancing?
Yep. We really liked, and another sort of amusement was the really campy sidekick. I didn't get his name from Lars Mangoes.
Large mangoes.
Well, I don't know who he was, but he was funny, wasn't he?
He was a bit campy, and you did.
He was
kept
really
saying
big,
he was
wasn't he?
mincing.
And he was mincing. But the only time he got into a fight with Buck, and like he went down with like one punch,
That's
didn't he?
true. But we just have to like draw attention to the fact that when Large Mangoes downloaded that or got that bit of equipment out, and he said to his sidekick about, will you help me fit this? And he just like put it in the socket. I was like, couldn't have done that himself then. No, he fucking needs like a big mincer guy to plug it in. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think this episode is not great. Okay, it's not good, but we was just like absolutely laughing
we did
all
laugh
the way through.
a lot in this episode.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
it's a funny episode.
Yeah. Anyway,
But that's
that's all we
but
got
won't
to
go
say.
any further than that. Yeah.
Anyway, leave it there.
Okay.
Okie dokie, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It is very silly.
I mean, it does depend how do you find great, really, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
clearly it's not quality.
No.
but it
It's
is
great fun, though.
It's fun, exactly.
Yeah.
Cheesy fun. That's what we want.
Yes. And I don't know what it is with this series and weirdo dancing. They don't do... when Tweak is dancing is the most normal dancing, there's a problem.
That and Hugh as Bob.
Oh yeah, no, but that was quite cute.
And at least Stuart got more to do than poor old Wilma, who really
Yeah.
did get badly sidelined. But he got
Very.
to go to the youth club. I
Yes.
think he was planning on starting a whist drive or something. Yeah. But you're right, there is sort of technobabble, but unlike Trek technobabble, which sounds vaguely plausible, this is just complete bobbins.
Isn't it? It's just guff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guff Rogers.
So purple monkey dishwasher. No, purple disco. What is it?
What's it called? Purple knee wobbler?
Purple disco machine.
Purple disco machine. Oh, it's very jolly, isn't it? Yeah, it's very 80s. Oh.
No, it's got singing in it. That
No,
doesn't work.
bad auto-tune singing.
Yeah,
Every blooming
no,
tune.
It doesn't work if you sing.
Oh, it's just like you walk into McDonald's and it's wall-to-wall bloody auto-tune still. And that auto-tuning has been around since, for about 10 years now, hasn't it? And music hasn't moved on. It's appalling.
It's terrible.
Terrible. Anyway, continuing our Old Men Shake Fist at Sky episode. Let's hear what Perry made of this one.
Hello, Orcs. Perry here to talk about Space Rockers. And for the most part, this was more like it. But we had a space rock band. They were playing stupid future instruments like the table of glass and the random buttons and the not a guitar. They wore silly outfits, like proper, like daft 1950s space outfits. And the whole plot was an evil music producer who was taking over the minds of young people with his subliminal ray. There was even some stupid disco with a big light rope. This is generally what I'm after in Buck Rogers. It was a stupid plan by a weird person. There was a vague hint at an analogy. Buck's very much, hey, just like the kids just want to have fun. Doctor Who, don't crack down, but Doctor Who are saying yes, but there's a lot of violence at these broadcasts and the dances, and they've got their own kind of, admittedly, kind of plot that went nowhere, kind of black shirt almost organ. Just there was an element within the fans who all dressed the same and tended to cause trouble. And indeed, that's I think most music scenes have it, but particularly in things like the metal scene and punk. There have been bands who are saying, I don't think people are quite getting the message with some of the attitudes, and I think ska actually had a lot of problems with it, with some of the attitudes and the sort of people sort of causing trouble. And indeed, the band had that of, hey, causing trouble and violence is way against what we're all about. Ultimately, this involved Buck and Tweaky faffing about on this satellite for a while. There were a lot. I think I'd almost say this was kind of an attempt to do an earlier season style episode, but I don't know if we maybe lost some writers or something, or if Gilbert got too much control, because it seems like an attempt. Like, there's a woman he rescues, but he just kind of puts her on a bus. And she kind of turns up. All she's there for is for him to realise that it's some sort of signal in the music. We do get Dr. Theopolis and Hure doing a bit of working out, but in general, Dr. Hure is mainly the one about to crack heads at a disco. And we did have the two kids who were, stole a spaceship and then got into trouble. Stole Buck's spaceship, actually. They could steal a spaceship without, launch codes or clearance and, that launchy thing. Apparently all automatic, anyone can just jump in. Anyone could go into the launch bay, for God's sake. That was a Thunder Fighter. That's kind of the equivalent to me walking onto, RAF Lookers or something and jumping into a Eurofighter. Which I've not tried, but I reckon it'd get me shot. I think I was on board this mostly for its silliness. Again, plot-wise, it's very much what we've encountered before. Quite like Tweaky having to go through the tunnels. That was interesting at any rate. But I think one of my main gripes was, where was Deering? Where was Wilma? I'd have expected in this sort of episode at least once for her to have to femme fatale her way into something and knock someone out and tell them we've had a great time. But no, we didn't have any Wilma at all, and that was kind of odd, but it was very much Buck and Tweaky in this one, and occasionally the band. I think this is more like what we're wanting. I still don't think it's quite in the top level of silliness that we got in some of the other episodes, but this had enough silliness for me to get on board and have a good laugh with it. And I like the fact that the band eventually had 2 songs, because they was like, oh yeah, all our songs. It's like, you got 1 song, guys. And they did eventually play a different one. And I kind of like the way that the baddie at the end was ridiculed. He's standing there going, come on, rise up, destroy everything, and everyone's just laughing at the square on the telly. So, all it really says, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope it will be better than last one. And I always do keep up the good work, guys, because I always look forward to the podcast. And I hope to feedback in the next one. But until then, bye for now.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Not quite top level silly. What was it missing? What would have made?
How far do we have to go?
Yeah, what would have made it more silly? I suppose, maybe that fire pit that just clearly had, the lava pit that you could just walk around if you were careful. For example, again, there are some other silly things, I suppose. But you're right. How the fuck did they just go and steal a Thunder Fighter?
Yeah, the security at the Earth Defence Directorate, unfortunately named, is appalling, isn't it?
It's like the Enterprise.
Worse, yeah. Blimey. There was like one engineering guy who just got his face kicked in, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's no launch codes. I mean, why did they not just crash into the door at the end of the launch tube or whatever? I mean,
I don't think there's any doors. I
Oh.
think you just waltz out. So yeah.
But yeah, I hadn't really thought of that before, because I could see it was clearly analogous with stealing a car. But ordinary people have cars. They park in the street.
And in the United States, they all keep their keys in the sun visor thing, don't they? So they're easy to nick, and they keep their cars unlocked as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's because this is obviously a United Statian series. They left the keys to I was going to say Space Raider. Those are crisps. Thunder Fighter in the glove compartment so that they could just nick it. Yeah, that's what they did.
Yes.
Now I want some Space Raiders. Not fair.
They do pickled onion flavour. I like them.
Do they still do Space Raiders? I've not seen them in
Oh
ages.
no! Right. What you need
I
is
like the orange packets. What flavour were they? Probably cheese.
or possibly tomato, or spicy. I don't know. What you need, okay, is a proper
And
down
you remember they
at
had
heel.
they told stories on the back,
Yeah.
and you had to collect all the packets. And I remember going through bins at school to get the ones I was missing. And the teacher's looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing, bin boy?"
Wow. Is that our episode title?
Bin boy.
What the hell are you doing, bin
Bin
boy?
boy. That's worth printing a T-shirt or two for if we ever want to raise some money for this podcast. That's what we'll do. We'll have a what do they call that thing? Itchy store or whatever it's called.
Etsy.
Oh, that's it. Etsy. Yeah.
Itchy
The
store.
Itchy store.
What the
Itchy
fuck?
and scratchy store. And we'll sell our itchy T-shirts with our crap logos on it.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah. What else can we do?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. We've forgotten. The
We've
problem is
got-
it's the booze. That's the downside of this podcast and the amount of booze involves to fuel it. That by the time we've finished recording, then when I listen back when I'm editing, I go, oh yeah, we said that, didn't we?
Yeah.
All the brain cells.
Well, we always end up having a conversation of what do we say we're going to play out to? Don't we? Because we don't remember.
Yeah.
Not the next morning, no.
Well, it won't be Andromeda, I'll tell you that.
Oh, but I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It isn't it, won't, to be fair.
It is. It is.
Apparently they reused some of that music in one of the Grand Theft Auto
Really?
computer games. Yeah.
Wow.
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 That was a deep cut, whoever did that.
Yeah. Now, if you want Space Raiders, what you need is one of those
Oh,
really...
yes, that's how we got started on that. Space
Yeah.
Raiders.
Is one of them really shitty news agents. You know the one that's got bad lino on the floor? And it's all slightly dark. And it's round the corner with the pet food. That's what you want. They sell Space Raiders.
Yeah, best before 1986. Yeah.
Possibly, I don't know. But I did find somewhere that sold them. I can get you some tomorrow if you want.
I can get your toe. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But that has more of a plan, the Big Lebowski, doesn't it? What's his name? Walter has a better grasp of reality, doesn't he, than Large Mangoes?
Large mangoes. Yeah. Euphemism. Anyway, let us find out what the name of the next episode we're covering is. Because as per usual, I haven't updated the file that I use because I'm crap.
Okay. So you haven't... It's not called What the Hell Do You Think You're Doing, Bin Boy, then?
No. If only. It's called... Ooh, this is a dramatic sounding one. Buck's Duel to the Death.
Oh, is it with Tiger Man?
Don't think so. Let me just have a quick look. Does it feature Ardala and Tiger Man? No, it does not. It doesn't feature anybody I've ever heard of. But we'll no doubt watch the episode and go, oh, I recognise him, and then find out that he was in some episode of The Bill or something. I don't know. Probably
Bill?
not Bill,
The Bill? Really? Wow.
Oh, no, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm off to raid a bin. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we're recording on Thursday the 13th of January.
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah.
June?
June is busting out. Hello, January. That's today, isn't it? What did I say about not updating my files?
What did you say about having too much booze? June? We're next recording in June? What's this?
Yes, we're doing June next.
What?
Which version, though? Well, we've already done one of them, so that
Yeah.
only leaves the new one we haven't seen yet.
No.
27th of January, everybody.
Yes, okay.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. The voiceover for Borg Rogers was provided by Michael David Sims from Earth2.net.
The Buck Rogers theme was played by Drew Barker. All other music is used for illustrative purposes only, and no copyright infringement is intended.
The artwork for this podcast was created by Andy Palastides.
To contact us, send emails or MP3s to borgcast@gmail.com.
Contact us via Twitter at rev_org or Borgcastammo. #Borgcast.
Visit our website at galactica.libsyn.com.
Or view images relating to our cast on our Tumblr site, borgcast.tumblr.com.
You can join our Facebook page. And there's also a Spotify playlist with all our play-out tunes on it.
Shut it down!
What the hell are you doing, bin boy?